Welcome to Invest Out West podcast. I'm Nat Micken.
And I'm Kahlia Micken. We are a husband and wife team who live and invest in Western Queensland.
Join us on our journey of creating passive income through mindset, business, crypto, and property investing. Welcome to Invest Out West episode number 22.
Today we'd like to leave with a quote that says, "I'd rather regret the things I did rather than the things I never tried."
Yeah, today we're just going to do a quick sort of review on a book. Now the book is called Big Money Energy by Ryan Serhant. Now anybody who watches $1 Million Listing New York on TV is probably familiar with this bloke. He is. I think last year he finished being on $1 Million List in New York, but he was on there for a number of years. And I started to sort of follow him on YouTube and that a couple of years ago. And I heard this book as a recommendation on a podcast once, this book, Big Money Energy. And so I decided to get the book and read it, and yeah, I sort of believe it was fairly life-changing for me, just sort of understanding how big money energy works, basically, and getting to understand big money energy. I have noticed that when I'm around successful people and working for successful people, I have this sense of energy and inspiration that it's sort of hard to describe. It's something that I never experience when I never experience it other than being around highly successful people, and it's an incredible feeling to have, and I could never work out what it was, but once I read this book, I then understood that it is actually big money energy that is radiating out off the person and the environment that you're in when you're around successful people, and it's something that you can just feel. You can just feel it in the air, pretty much. So I highly recommend this book to anybody who is trying to become successful. It sort of goes into a lot of different topics, but the theme around the book, I guess, is a case of just like being who you want to be in the future, I guess you could say. It's a case of feeling like making sure that you radiate how that you want to be seen as being a success in the world, and it goes into a few other topics as well. So I'll just read a couple of different parts here that I've got marked out. So chapter 5, it's called "This is How You Dominate," and it starts off, "We've all encountered the dominator. They're that ultra-attractive, well-dressed person whose look is so amazing it basically says, 'I am the person of my own damn story, so stand back, please.' Their confidence is so next level that you automatically assume they're the CEO of a huge company or an up-and-coming film star. The dominator is stylish, in charge, and their outfit screams, 'I make a lot of money,' so loudly that everyone else is wondering, 'How can I get some of that?'" End quote. That chapter is it sort of goes into dress code and making a statement with how you dress, type of thing, and then also chapter 7. It's called the 1,000 minute rule. And it starts off, do you know what you have in common with Elon Musk, Steph Curry, Jeff Bezos, The Rock, Oprah Winfrey, and J.K. Rowling? You all have the same number of minutes to use however you choose every single day. 24 hours in a day multiplied by 60 minutes gives all of us 1,440 minutes. Take away a reasonable amount of time to eat, sleep, shower, and hug your kids. You are left with 1,000 minutes. You can use your minutes to conquer the world and earn buckets of money, write books, train for a marathon, hang out with your family, have drinks with friends, buy groceries, meditate, do laundry, watch Netflix, or post pictures of your dog on Instagram. Every day you wake up with a fresh 1,000 minutes in your bank of time. You are the CEO of that bank, and it is totally up to you how to put those minutes to use. You're as rich in time every Monday as Oprah and the actual richest man in the world. End quote. So, that's I found that chapter very helpful as well. I've said this on the podcast before as well, how that there is basically no difference between us and Jeff Bezos and the like. It's just the way that the individual person thinks and uses their mental capacity to really differentiate themselves from mainstream. He goes into a lot about that side of things as well. So, that's sort of what I just wanted to say about this book. Kahlia, did you have more to add to that?
Yeah, I just wanted to touch on a little bit about the reason, I guess, why Ryan Serhant sort of resonates with us so much. He tells his story quite a bit. He was this little shy, very much, sit in his corner little boy. He had no confidence whatsoever. And every podcast you listen to of Ryan's, he always tells a story how he was always the goofy boy. He was always the one who was too scared to do anything or say anything. And yet here he is now. He is known as the top selling agent in New York, top-selling real estate agent in New York. I listened to a podcast that he done with Ed Milet, and he said on there that there were 80,000 real estate agents when he went to New York, and here he rose through the ranks, and he said that he was just one of them, one out of 80,000, and he just went to the top, and he was so determined in his belief within himself that he just rose through the ranks to be the best-selling real estate agent in New York. And so this is why we're so inspired, and why we so have so much belief in Ryan Serhant and in what he says and in what he teaches and what he shares, because he has lived that life. He's gone from this poor little boy going to being this multi-millionaire. He tells the story of when he first got to New York before he fell into the real estate avenue that he's now in. He was a hand model. So he wanted to do acting, and he was a hand model, and he couldn't even afford his own groceries. He was sleeping on a couch in his mate's apartment, and so he's come literally from the bottom of the barrel, and he's risen to these astonishing stages of his life where he's absolutely phenomenal. And so we truly have a lot of belief in what Ryan has to say. He's someone that we really take notice of, and we sit up and listen to because he practices what he preaches. And just coming back to his book, The Big Money Energy, that is just Ryan all over. Some people who I've spoken to about Ryan, they come across and say that he's a little bit arrogant, a little bit self-centered, but when you understand his story and realized where he's come from, you realize that there's more depth to him than that, and more depth to his story. And he radiates big money energy. And what we have found with our journey is that it is like you have to find success and to find the abundance that we want in our own lives, you have to tap into the big money energy. You have to try and, as tough as it is, and even we still, struggle immensely with it, you still have to You have to tap into that big money energy. You have to be willing to sort of see beyond what our own mind can see right here, right now. And this is exactly what Ryan did when he was auditioned for $1 Million Listing, and that was talking about. He didn't have anything. He wasn't a real estate agent. He just said, I'm going to do it, and he made it happen. And he was telling the story again on the podcast I was listening to it with Ed Milet, and he just said it just happened. He just did it. He just said, I'm going to do this, and then he just done absolutely everything that he could to achieve that, and that's how he started to rise through the rank. I've read another book of Ryan's. It's called Sell It Like Serhant. So this book here that I've got was actually his first. His first book, Big Money Energy, was his second book, and now he's got a third book out. But in Sell It Like Serhant, he just talks about, like how to be a seller and how to really tap into, I guess, that big money energy of being a dinky die seller. He has these what he calls Serhant secrets in this book, and one of them says choose success first, no matter what, and then back yourself. And it's so true. Like you see it in Ryan, he had to choose his success first, and then it's a case of backing himself into it and truly believing in what he could achieve. And if he didn't have the vision of having the big money energy, he simply wouldn't have got to where he is. Another one of his secrets says, don't be afraid to push yourself to take on more. If you're the one who creates the chaos, then you can control the chaos. And this is exactly what it is. You have to be willing, you've got to be really willing and really determined to push yourself to the absolute limit to create the success that you want. And we find too now that we've been made aware of what that term big money energy really means, we can really tap into that now. So we'll be around people and we can really feel when they have that big money energy, when it's really radiating from them, and you can really feel when people are below that and are really sort of struggling with what success means. You can really feel the energy coming off them, and I do count it a privilege now to be able to tap into that, like to be able to actually feel the energy and feel that radiation when you know that you're in the right scene, and when you can feel like even when you are alone, you can feel within yourself whether you're in a in big money energy or whether you're in a lack, in a lack of energy, because you can really feel it in yourself, and you can feel it in your determination and in your confidence, and then of course that comes out then in your results. So I do really like what Ryan teaches. I do really like, the way that he teaches, and the confidence that he radiates, and the success that he shares. So, and just going back to that quote that we said right at the start, that I'd rather regret the things I did rather than the things I never tried. And this is it. If we're not willing to tap into, what we consider to be our own big money energy, we're going to have regrets then for sort of lacking out, for missing out then on our own success. So, yeah, very, very passionate about what Ryan has to say and has to teach. And yeah, if you haven't read Big Money Energy, if you haven't read Sell It Like Serhant, then that needs to be your next book to read, or get it as an audiobook or something, and start to get this, like this energy flowing into yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. No, like you say, he's an incredible inspiration, because like you were just touching on there, he grew up very poor, just come from sort of in the back blocks, nowhere near New York or anything where he grew up, and he just rose up through the ranks, and when he, like Kahlia was saying, like he couldn't even afford to feed himself in his early days, even as a real estate agent, and eventually he built himself up to where he is now, and so he was working for a company, like a real estate company, and then he went out on his own and created Serhant, the company Serhant, the real estate agency, and his goal is to turn that into the greatest real estate agency the world has ever seen. And so yeah, he's got branches right across America now, branches of Serhant agencies. So he's not just in New York anymore. So yeah, just an incredible inspiration, and like I said before, we follow him on YouTube and that as well. So He's just somebody that we're really passionate about. So, look, I highly recommend that anybody gets this book, Big Money Energy by Ryan Serhant. It's compulsory reading, I reckon, for somebody who's trying to become successful. So that's probably about all we've got on this one for now, and keep living the dream.